Well, here's another one that doesn't have a lot of information out there for it, but I did find some stuff. So let's see what we have here on this episode of Antique Bottle Stories. Now, I wasn't able to get back as far as this ad claims. This says it goes back to 1801. Maybe it's fibbing, or maybe I just couldn't find enough information. First, let's look at this bottle. It says Tricopherous for the skin and hair. Now, is it Tricopherous or Tricopherous? I'm leaning more towards Tricopherous. On the side panel, it says berries. On the other side panel, it says New York. And the back panel says directions in the pamphlet. I'm not sure if this is that pamphlet. It says berries, Tricopherous should be used when hair has been stunted or defective in its original growth, or fallen out prematurely in the days of youth. Berries, Tricopherous should be used when hair has become blanched through grief or fear. Berries, Tricopherous should be used when the winter time of life, when the hair has become dry and withered and degenerated into gray and frosted locks. It says in any of these cases the scalp should be cleansed and then use the preparation on it, supplying the artificial nutriment, producing lasting and wonderful results. While I was looking through the newspapers, I found the guy's name. It's Alexander C. Barry. He was born in 1817 in Scotland. He marries Caroline, but I don't see that they have any kids with them in any of the census records. Since he was born in Scotland, his parents' info is going to be in Scotland records, and he has no descendants. And I don't see that anyone has him in their family tree on Ancestry.com, so it looks like him and his wife are the only family he's got. The first time I see Barry's Tricopherous in the paper is in 1842. Barry is a wig maker as well. He's advertising all of his services here. He makes necklaces, bracelets, watch guards, and a few other things, including wigs and scalps. Scalps? He already has his Tricopherous solution in this ad, claiming that if you don't find it the best and cheapest article known in this country, he will return your money. He will also give advice on all diseases connected with the hair. It also lists an address, 146 Broadway, corner of Liberty Street, upstairs. Now, Google Maps takes me to this building. This building is 146. So he's in this skinny brick building upstairs. That's pretty cool. Here's an article a few months later, and it says an imitation was made by the vilest and most deleterious character as he attempted to palm it off in the public under the same name. The next year, Barry is in court trying to recover the value of goods taken from his store. 1845, here's a recommendation from a Dr. Lowcock, strongly recommending the product for baldness and gray hair or dandruff. It looks like he's been stolen from again in 1847. 1849, here's some more explanation of how the product works, in much more detail, stimulating vessels, opening pores, invoking circulation, etc., etc. The 1850 census here shows Alex and his wife Caroline. He's listed many times as a perfumer. They have a Mary Underhill living with them. It doesn't say if she's a relative or a servant. 1850, there's an ad containing various testimonials. 1851, this one says it cures baldness, it imparts vigor to the roots of the hair and thus promotes its growth to a remarkable degree. It cures diseases of the scalp, such as scalp head, dew worm, never heard of that one, and all other obnoxious disorders of the skin. 25 cents a bottle. Here's 1853. This is the article that I found his name. This says the preparation is used for improvements to the hair, but also for cuts, burns, bites, and skin diseases. It says he makes about 2,800 bottles a day and steadily increasing. It says he makes upwards of $300 a day and about $100,000 a year. No preparation for hair has ever reached such a pitch of popularity as is now enjoyed by Barry's Tricopherous. 1853, I guess it's considered a patent medicine now. 1855 census, Alexander and his wife look like they have 2 boarders living with them and a servant. I found him in the 1855 catalog of drugs and medicines. 1859, he's listed under perfumers. His home address is 374 Pearl. Google Maps brings me here. I don't know exactly when he comes over from Scotland, but he became a citizen in 1863. 1864, this ad says that his preparation is being sold all over the world. 1865 census, I found it funny that the enumerator tried to spell Tricopherous. It was a good try though. 1867 directory, nothing has changed. It seems like he's in the business by himself, and he dies the following year. Here's a record that spells his last name wrong, but he died at the age of 51. And when he died, his wife filed his will. It does mention some more family here. He's got some family in Glasgow, Scotland, and someone in Australia, and he has one relative that lives in Brooklyn here as well. It says he left no children descendants. A few months later, another ad. It says it's been established for 68 years, which lines up with that very first ad at the beginning, but that would be 1801, and Alexander Berry wasn't born until 1817. The only scenario that I can think of is maybe his dad was in the same business over in Scotland, and Alexander brought his dad's formula over with him when he came over to the States. There's no obituary for Alexander Berry. There's no findagrave.com for him, but I think he made a good living. I don't think he was a millionaire, but I think he did okay for himself. And that ends up being the end of his story. Newspaper.com doesn't mention him anymore after that. I found some patent information. This mentions a patent registered in 1907 by Barclay & Barclay. This one mentions a few changes made over the years. The earliest date listed is 1828. This patent we are looking at is owned by Landman and Kempt Barclay. In fact, they still own it today. They've owned it for the better part of 100 years now. And you can still buy it on Amazon. They still call it berries. I doubt very much that it even remotely resembles the original product. I mean, these ingredients are not stuff that he would have used. Yellow, number 6. Why? I don't know if any of these ingredients would be beneficial to anybody's hair. I only found one document that mentions one of the ingredients of the original recipe as crushed beetle bodies. Most of the ads that have been sprinkled throughout this video were produced in the 1890s, a good 25-30 years after Berry died. So let's look at my bottle. It's blown, it's got a tooled top, and other than tons of embossing written on it, there's really nothing remarkable about the bottle. I estimate this bottle to be somewhere in the 1880s, 1890s, somewhere in there. And that is it for today. That's going to do it. Have a wonderful day. Thanks for watching.